Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Claritysoft training webinar. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2019, and I'm Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at Claritysoft. Our topic for today is end user setup and personalization. Many of the webinars that we do focus on things that the admin user for Claritysoft can do in the setup of the database. And we decided that it would be nice to have one for the end user. Those of you who do not have admin rights within the database, there are still things that you can do to help personalize Claritysoft to you. So those are the topics that we will be covering today. On the agenda, the first thing we'll talk about are the My Settings options. Under the Settings menu, there's a first group called My Settings, and you as an end user will only see those options. So we will go through those options and explain what you can do. There's a home page in Claritysoft. When you log in, you may land on this page and it's blank. So we're going to explain to you how to set that up for yourself. Each user can set it up with different options on that home page. Then within each module, there are two settings that you can do. One for column settings, which are the data columns that you can see in list view. You may work a little differently in the database than another user, meaning you might want to see different data in the columns than another user might want to see. So you can set it to match how you want to see the information in your list view. You also can change it at any point in time depending on what you're doing for a particular day. And then along with that are tab settings. The tabs in Claritysoft, when you open a record, you see the different tabs, and you may choose to see different tabs in your tab settings. Perhaps there's a module you don't work a whole lot with or not at all, but it is visible to you. You don't need to see the tab for it because you don't need to see the information. So we'll do that. And then the last topic is an important one. Creating and saving custom views. Views in Claritysoft really are a filter that you create where you may search the database certain ways very often. And so you can create a filter, save it as a view, and then it becomes part of a drop-down list. And from that point forward, instead of recreating the filter, the next time you want to see that same list, you can simply go to the drop-down list of views and select the saved view or filter. So we will learn how to do that. That can be very helpful in working in the database and make things more efficient for you. All right, before we go on, in the Zoom meeting, there is a Q&A panel that if you have any questions while I'm talking, feel free to type your questions in there and I will do my best to answer them. So let me switch to my Claritysoft. And here we are in a Claritysoft database that I've already logged into. And we currently are in the leads module. Now, just another comment, it's possible in your database, you may not see all of these modules. I have all of them turned on. It's also possible that the leads module is something your company has opted not to use, so it may not be visible. But the principles work exactly the same way, so don't panic if you don't see certain things, all right? We're not concentrating on that today. We're concentrating on other setup types of things. Okay, so with your settings options in Claritysoft, when you first log into it, it will be set a certain way, and you will see certain columns here. You'll have a color scheme, usually of this dark blue, and you will have certain modules that are visible to you. You may make changes to some of these settings. Go over here to the upper right corner and click on this gear-shaped button. That is your settings button, and a settings menu will appear. And over here, you have a group that you will see called My Settings. And then underneath it are the different options that you may change. Normally what happens when you go here, the default option that is highlighted is Preferences. So this is one you can set right away. And then on the right, you have these different settings. Your time zone is here. Note that the time zone does not have a drop down. I'm assuming this should be set correctly because your admin user will have set your time zone when he or she added you as a user. But if for some reason you move and need to change your time zone, you will have to take this one out and then simply start typing the name of the time zone. And you'll notice you've got all the time zones all over the world. And so you find your time zone and select it. So just type it until you see it and then select it. The date format defaults to the standard date format that we use here in the United States, but you may change it to year, month, day, or day, month, year, depending on what you want. And that will be a personal setting within your database. You might want to see it a different way, but other people will see it whatever option they choose. The dates will configure themselves to whatever setting you select here. And then your default calendar view in Claritysoft, you have your calendar, and you may choose, well, what view do I want to see when I go to the calendar? So you may want to choose work week or a 7-day week or even a month view, timeline, or agenda. So once you set this, the next time you log out, log back in, your calendar will default to the view that you select. And then the default module, this is which module would you like to Claritysoft to go to when you log in? Currently mine is set to go to leads. I may want to set it to go to the accounts module or perhaps the activities module because I might want to see what's my to-do list for the day the first thing I log in. So you may change this to whatever you would like it to be, and then the next time you log in, it will go to that module. Yours perhaps goes to this home screen too. It's possible. All right. Just for illustration purposes, I'm going to set mine. I'll set mine to go to the home screen. And then you click apply to save it. Okay. So that's one of your settings. Then I'm going to do let's say, simpler ones first. Another thing you might want to change is the theme. You have different color schemes that you may select from. So if you don't like our choice of the darker blue, then you can pick something else. Let's see. I think I'm in a purple mood today, so I'm going to choose purple. All right. It tells you it's applied, and when I go back to the main database, it should have this color now as the theme color. The other thing that you can change is the navigation menu. The navigation menu has the modules in a particular order, and you may change the order. For example, leads is down here in the list. Well, maybe my sequence is to work with leads, accounts, contacts, so on and so forth. So I'd prefer to have leads at the top of the list. So I can click on it and then come over here and click on the up triangle until it's in the position where I would like it to be. And again, I can move things around here. If there are modules that you don't work with terribly often, then you can move them to this auxiliary menu. You know, maybe you can see the support module, but you don't work with the support module or you don't work with projects. Then I can move these over here. When I click apply, and then go back to my database, first of all, there's my purple color, and then see leads has been moved to the top of the list where I placed it. And the other modules are now under this more ... So if I click on it, I see the ones I moved to the auxiliary part of the menu, and then I can click less to collapse it back up. So it's just a way, again, your preference. If you don't want to see those because you don't use them terribly often, then you can expand when you want to go to one, and you can collapse when you don't need to see them. Back to settings. If you would like to change your password at any time, then you can click on here and you'll type your current password in, and then you can type your new password that you would like and confirm it, and then click change. The next time you log out, log back in, you will use your new password. Now, if you've forgotten your password, then you'll have to go to your admin user, and perhaps the admin user will have to make the change and then give you the new password. This is only if you have a password that you would like to change to something else and you know what your current password is. All right. Then I'm going to go to my information. This is a good one to fill in because this information will then feed into the rest of the database. If you are doing a quote template, there's a place where you have to fill in your company name, your name, email address, and phone number. If you fill this in here, by default, it will automatically fill in those fields. So you only have to fill it in once here, and then it will go to the proper places within the database. So fill this in, click save, it will save it, and then it will be ready to go. If there's a change to it, obviously you can come back and change it. All right, email settings. This may already be set up for you when you go into your database where your admin user has filled in this information. These email settings are your outgoing settings for your Outlook or your Gmail setup. And it allows you to send emails out of Claritysoft through your Outlook or your Gmail. So these settings may already be here. Perhaps the only thing that you have to fill in might be your email password. So this is here. You would fill in your email password, click apply to save, and then do a test, and it will tell you that it's successful, hopefully. If your password is correct or not, then it should work. So this may be 100% done for you. Or it may be blank and you might have to fill it in which case you may need to talk to your admin user in order to figure that out. Another place that you can go for information on this is up here to the question mark, support portal, and in the search, you can type email settings, and then you'll see Claritysoft Live email server settings. And then it will give you a short video, and then it will give you a description of the different fields and directions to follow for doing that. So if it's not set up, then you can perhaps use the support portal and then work with your admin user as well. And if both of you get stuck, then you want to definitely call our tech support team and they will be happy to help you. All right. Then the next one I'm going to touch on here is your email signature. When you are sending emails out of Claritysoft, just like in Outlook or in Gmail, you want to have your signature show up in the email. So you can create your email signature here in Claritysoft, save it, and then when you're sending an email, it can automatically display in that email. You can have multiple signatures saved as well, and you would be able to select the one that you want to send, want to use in your email. So to create a signature, you go here and then come over and click the green add button. The first thing you can type is the name. Then what I suggest you do, if you already have a signature saved, you can go to your Outlook. I find the signatures drop down and I go to the original signatures where you actually design it, and then I am copying it. I'll pull this over here. So I go to this, and then I copy it. And paste it here. And I'm using Control C and Control V. So it drops it in. Now, this came in okay, but then you can see the logo is not here and then all those little social media icons. So what you have to do with any of your graphics is to right click on it, go to Image Properties, and then this link here is where the image is stored. You may know where it is on your computer. I don't ever remember. So what I'm doing here is I'm copying this, and then I'm clicking on Upload, and I click on Choose File, and then I paste the link in here, the path, and click Open. So it then finds the file. I send it to the server, and then once I do that, it takes me back to this image info tab where I was, and it shows me the logo. Ignore all this stuff down here. That's not going to come in. And then over here, if I want to adjust the size, I can adjust the size. So if I, for some reason, wanted to make this just a titch bigger, I could do that. And you'll see that if I change the width, the height automatically adjusts because this little padlock is locked. If I click on it, see how it opens? You don't want that to be open. You always want that to be locked. So you just always need to glance at that to make sure that it's locked, because when it is, then the ratio of height, width to height will stay the same. Then you can click OK, and that will then lay your logo in. And then I would do the same thing with these. I won't do all of them, but I go to Image Properties. I'm Control C to copy the link. Go to, or the path, I should say the path. Go to Upload. Now in the right folder, but I'm still going to paste this down just because I don't know which one it is. And then it brings it in. I go here and I click OK, and it drops it in. So I just need to work across my 4 different ones and do the same thing. Instead, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to delete these. Okay. Now, once I have it, if I also, I might need to change my font here. If I click in here, this is just putting it into a standard HTML font. So I might have a font that I can select the text and choose which font it is, and then what size I want it to be. So if I want it 11 point, something like that. And you can change your color. So you can change your color. All of that can be done here. And then once you've got it all set, you can also click in this checkbox here for default. That makes this signature your default signature when you are creating an email. And then I'm going to save it. So once I've done that, usually after you've done your email settings, if they have not already been done, and you set your signature, you need to log out and log back in. So I'm going to do that real quick. And notice when I log back in, I'm going to land on the home screen, not the leads module, okay, which is what I said in this preferences. I still have my purple, okay. And for my email, if I go to contacts module, did I click on it? Yes. And let's say I just click on one of these people here. Claritysoft is going to open an email form for me, and it will already have my from address. It puts in the email address of the person I selected, and notice my signature that I just created has automatically dropped in. All right, so I could then type an email. And send it, okay? So I could send it off and it will go out through my Outlook. But at the same time, what will happen, it will save a copy of this email to contact closed activities list for Madeline Pratt because I'm sending it to her. So this makes it nice to be able to email straight out of the database and have it go out. And it will be in my sent folder and everything is there. I'm going to cancel this one right now and go back to settings, because the next thing you may want to do with email, once you've set up your signature, is you may want to begin to create some templates. Each of you has the ability to create your own templates that are somewhat standard types of emails that you might like to send out. Maybe you have a, welcome new customer type of email that you send out, and you're constantly copying it and pasting it from somewhere else, and you don't want to do that anymore. So what you can do in Claritysoft is you can create a template and save it. So all you have to do is go to your settings, go to email templates, click the add button, and then again you put a name for your template. The subject line is the subject line of the email, okay? So I could say, welcome to Claritysoft. And then it's going to save in what is the default folder right now. Those are the folders that are there, okay? And then down here, I can begin to compose my email. So I could say, hello. And because this is a generic template, I want the email to personally address each person. I don't have to go in and change it every time. So we've given you the ability to insert a field. You click on this green arrow in the toolbar, and then you'll see the different fields of data that you can enter. So you can put in the person's first name, or if you have used the salutation field in your record, which is usually for either the first name of the person or if they have a nickname, and you know it's filled in for every field, every record, then you could use the salutation field. So you can pick which one, you click OK, and it will insert the field name. Then you can put your comma, and I've said, we would. I'll keep this short, and I can put in, type whatever text I want. If I want to put any images in, you can click on here and insert any kind of graphic images. Again, you may select the text, go to the font and pick the font that you would like. Not every font is here, but there's a pretty good selection of them. Let's see, this one's nice. And then select your point size that you want. Get it all formatted the way you want it to be. You do not put your signature in here, all right? You do not need to. And then you click Save. And you can create as many templates as you like. Once you've saved a template, then you do have the option to share it with other users. So if you're the really good writer on the team and you get the job of creating the templates for people, you can create them, and then you go to the left of the record here and click on the 3 stack lines, the row action button, and say share it. And then it will show up with all the other usernames here, and then you can select the other people that you wish to share this template with. Might be all of them, it might just be a few. So then that way, when they log out and log back in, they will see this welcome new customer template in their email templates list. So now, how do I use this? I go back to my database. So I'll just pick somebody. And instead of typing something in here, I come down here to Insert Template. And then I have my different templates. Now, when you're going to insert a template, this is a key thing to know. Don't click on this link that's the name of the template. Click on the icon for the template. If you click on the link, it opens a web page, which is not what you want to do. So you want to click on the icon for the template. And there it is. It puts it in. Notice that your signature came in as well. It's there because, or it was already there, because we set that little default checkbox. If you wanted to change your signature or take it out, you can come down here to Insert Signature and say No Signature. It'll remove it. Or you can go back and put it back in. All right. Also notice down here you have the option Save as a Template. So you could start an email from scratch here without creating a template. You could type all the text and say, you know, I maybe would like to save this so I can use it again. So you can come down here, click Save as Template, give it a name, and it will then save what you've typed as a template that you can pick from the next time. And then the last thing here is you can attach a document of some sort. If you want to attach something, you simply click that. So it's just like a normal email. And then once you've got everything set up the way you want, you click Send. All right. I have no idea where this is going, but we'll send it. So then we can see, as I said before, if we go to Madeline, under her closed activities, there's an email. Whoops, it isn't there quite yet, so it would probably take him time to go out, but that's there. We'll come back in a second after we refresh it. All right, so that's setting up all the emails, creating templates. And the one topic we haven't covered here are export options. In Claritysoft, you may or may not have the ability to export leads, accounts, contacts, or any records in the database out to Excel for purposes of working with them in Excel. It's possible you may not have this option. You actually can check. If I come here, I'm just going to select a couple records, and I go to this List Actions menu and Export to Excel. You might not see this, so you can check and see if it's there. If it's not there, then this other part won't matter to you. But if it's there, then you can do this. So what this allows you to do, again, you may do common types of exports for sending to another program or sending to someone. So in the export options, you first of all pick which module you're exporting from. So for example, well, I'll just choose accounts to keep it simple. And what will happen when you choose it, it gives you the fields that are already set up to go out to an accounts export, but maybe there's some custom fields that you want to include in this. And so you can go down and find your custom fields that you might want to pull out into this list. And again, you can put it anywhere you want. So if I wanted this up here, maybe I don't want description because I don't use it, and maybe I don't want website. So you configure this the way you want it to be configured as a standard export, that when you do an export, these are the fields you most commonly want. and then you click apply. So that then when you go to your export, and again, I'll just choose a few people here. Oh, I'm in contacts. Wait a minute. Would help if I go to accounts. So if I choose, I don't know, the first 6 or so, and go to list actions, export to Excel. And then here I'm doing all records marked as checked unless I filtered a big list of records, and then I can do all filtered records. And notice that industry and territory, which were not in the standard setup in settings, those 2 fields are now there, and website and the other one that I took away, I've forgotten what it was, are here. So I can still add additional fields if I want, but this is my standard setup. So that's the purpose of the export to Excel. So again, if you do that kind of thing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, then you can set up the fields that you know you always want to export, have them in the order in which you want to do them so you don't have to redo it every single time you run the export. And then once you do this and click apply, it'll send it out to Excel and allow you to open a file. So that's how that one works. So again, you may or may not have the ability to do an export, and you may or may not really do it very often. So whatever you need to do is there. Okay, the next thing then, under settings, so here's my export right here, comes out, ready to go. You can save it as a file and go from there. The next thing I'll mention, because again, you may not have the ability to see this, it depends on what's turned on in your database. The one thing I didn't mention here was Audit Log, and you may not see this. So this is a feature that may be turned on, maybe not. But the purpose of it is, if you can see it, when you log into your database, it starts tracking what you're doing and the changes that you've made. So if a user, hopefully not you, goes in and deletes some records that shouldn't be deleted, then if you can see this audit log, you can go in and actually restore those records using the audit log. You can see when it was done and then restore those records. You can see who's done what. So that's there. Again, you may or may not see that. And the other things under here, you may or may not see. Products and pricing, that is to add products and pricing to your price book. Probably not something that you would do. This would be your admin user. Action plans, you may or may not see. These allow you to create bundles of activities that give you the ability to apply an action plan, and then you can lay in a group of activities all at one time rather than have to add 6 different activities every single time you put a new customer in. We have some videos on this to get detail, but again, that's an option you may or may not have in your database. And then integrations will probably, again, be something that the admin user would work with more than yourself. So let's move on to within the database, what changes can you make here? And as I mentioned at the very beginning, column settings, you may change your column settings to match the kinds of data that you want to see, and it can be different than anyone else's. So to do that, you come over here to this vertical ellipsis button, and you will see column settings and tab settings. We'll do column settings first. And much like the export to Excel, you have the list of all the fields available to you to view in the columns on the left, and you have the fields that you currently can see on the right. So what you can do is, again, maybe you want to search by city and state. State's already over here, so you can bring city over. maybe, what else do I have here? I can't remember which field is filled in correctly, industry or industry type. So you would go down, there might be certain custom fields that you want to see. Down here at the bottom, this is another one that's important, results per page. When you first log into Claritysoft, the results per page is 20 by default. You can increase it to 50 or 100. I'm going to make mine 100. By doing it in here, every time you log in, the list of accounts will show you 100 records at a time per page rather than 20. And you won't have to keep coming down to the bottom of the page down here and changing it. So once I apply this, it stays. And then you can see now we added industry. Okay, so industry is the one I want, not industry type. So I'm going to go back in here. Just drag that to the left. So there I can see, what did I do? I took the wrong one away. There we go. So you can see how quick it is to change. No problem undoing it. So you can change it at any point in time, and then you set your columns up what way you want. And basically, when you first go into Claritysoft, go to each module, and you have the same button here. Go to column settings, set up each module with the list. You know, if you wanted to see what city they're in here and state, you can pull it in the contacts list. So whatever pieces of information help you work, pull them over and place them where you want, change your default. So you basically go to each module, do that setup, and then Claritysoft remembers it until you change it. So when you log out, log back in, whatever setting it is, it comes back. So you've got that information here. All right. Now, tab settings. Let me go back to accounts. If I open an account record in here, I see different tabs of data. So I have my details tab, which is where my basic information about the account record is. Contacts is important because it shows you all of your contacts that you have with that account. Your open activities are all your activities that are in process. Tell you what you have going, and it gives you the date, and you can see a lot of these are very old that have never been completed. And then your closed activities are those activities that have been marked as being completed, and they give you a history of what you've done. Email campaigns, you will not see this tab unless you have the marketing module, so don't panic if you don't see it. All right. Opportunities are your sales opportunities that you've worked with this particular company, and you can see a history of those, which ones are still pending, which are quite a few, which ones are won, so you see the sales stage and you see what the current close date is and the amount. So you can see all this information here. So when you're looking at the tabs, the ones that have a dark blue line above them tell you that there's at least one record underneath. All right. So the tab settings allow you to change what tabs you see. So if I go out of here and I go back to my vertical ellipsis button, then I can turn off a tab that maybe I don't use because I don't work in that particular area. So I can click here on the vertical ellipsis, go to tab settings, and then you can see there are some over here And let's say maybe I don't work with projects at all, so I'm going to move that over to the left. And so that one I don't need to see, and maybe something over here I do need to see, so I can drag it over. So again, you set it the way you need to see it, and then what happens when I open the record again, I'm not going to see that projects tab. Okay? So that's fine. That's the purpose of the tab setting. So just simple, works like the column settings. You are probably going to use column settings mostly on that. And then the next one, quickly, I'm going to go back to the home page. And this nice blank screen here, explain how to set it up so you see something. If you come to the home page, on the left you have a settings button. It's a little smaller than the one on the right, and this one applies to the home page. So you click on that, and you see two options, key indicators, chart indicators. I'm going to click on key indicators first. And on the right, then you will get a little pop-in window that's going to give you a list of all the possible key indicators that you can turn on. You may select up to 4 at any point in time. So you can select 4, and then later if you want to change one, you just come in and uncheck one of the 4, and then you can check a different one. So for example, if I wanted to know how many new accounts have we added year to date, I can click in this, and it shows me a box where I've added 3. If I wanted to show how many leads we've added this current month, now this month will be currently May, and then when we go to June, it will change. But for the month of May, I've added 6 new leads, all right? And then I could come down here and show my won opportunities for this month, or I could do for year to date. So I'll just, all my opportunities, the value of them that we've won so far in 2019. I'm a terrible salesperson. I really need to get going on things. Okay, so I can show up to 4. And maybe I can do opportunities that are due to close this month and the value of them. And then once I've got my 4, can collapse this, and then I can see what are called my key indicators. If I go back to settings and go to chart indicators, then these are charts that I can show. So if I show accounts by owners created last month, none, so I'll turn that one back off. Let's do leads by owner year to date. So these are all the different owners and the leads that they have created year to date. So here's my 3, all right? So these are all the other people do a lot more work than I do. But you can see that. And again, with the chart indicators, you may have up to 4. So let's see, what have we got here? We'll turn this one on. I don't have a lot of really good data in here. So you can see now my opportunities by owner this month. Okay, so that's how you turn the charts on. And then once you turn on the charts, you can display them in this vertical view or list view, or you can display them in tiled view. So they would have 4 of them side by side. So again, depending on how the charts display, you can put them in the tiled view and then see them. As things are added in the database and updated, these charts automatically update for you. So if you want to go to your home screen each day and look and see where you stand with things, then you'll kind of know what you need to do for the day. The other thing that you can do with these charts is if you go to the dashboards module, you are able to create new charts or dashboards. So when you get here, it's blank, go to the vertical ellipsis button and click on settings, and you will see the same charts or dashboards that we see on the home screen. So you can pull one up and then you can edit it, or you can create a new dashboard from scratch, and when you save it, it will get added to this list, and then it will also be on the list in the home screen so that you can create your own custom charts or dashboards and then display them on the home screen. So just wanted you to know that so that you can know that you can create ones if you don't like the ones we already have there. So that's setting up your home screen and being able to see what is happening in the database. All right. Back to views. One of the advantages, big advantages of using a database like Claritysoft for your managing your customers is the ability to be able to search your data and pull it up in different ways so that you then can work with it more efficiently as you're trying to contact people, keep things updated, do all kinds of different things. So in my particular database here, I have some custom fields, one of industry, one of territory, city, and state. So let's say that I would like to find all of the people that are in a particular industry. So I'm going to come up here to the spyglass button, click on the arrow, and choose Advanced Search. And when I get in here, I have 4 tabs of different ways I can search. Form filter is the easiest one. Standard filter gives you the ability to create a multi-level type of search. Time filter lets you search on a date field over a particular span of time. And the product filter, if you are using products and services in Claritysoft, lets you search for all the accounts that may be purchased. Again, it could be sales, quotes, or opportunities. It's either been, they've purchased it, it's been quoted to them, or it's in the sale opportunity record. You can find the products. So you can get a list of all the accounts that have purchased a particular product, and maybe you want to send them an email about something. Maybe there's an update to it or something like that. So these are all here. I'm going to use a simple one here first, and I want to find by the territory. And over here, I'm going to choose South. Click Search. And now I see everyone who's in the South territory. And down at the bottom here, it will always tell you how many records you found. So I have 74 in the South territory. And because I have my results per page set to 100, I can scroll down and see all 74. All right. Now, if I also wanted to add perhaps a state there, because I just want to pull up a particular state, I could just look for the state, or I could look for South and the state, whatever. But once I've got my list set up here, maybe I want to be able to do this really quickly without having to go to Advanced Search. Click here, Advanced Search, go to the territory, choose South, and then click Search. I want to do it much faster because I search on this all the time. I change from one territory to the other. So up here at the top, in red, I see Advanced Search View. That tells me there's a view or a filter turned on. I have the option to edit it, make a change to the filter, save it, or clear it. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to type South Territory, save. Notice now it's in the list. So I can go here and I can choose all accounts, which takes me back to all the accounts, which is 200, or I can very quickly say, let me see my South territory. Boom, done. So these views allow you to create different lists or views, filters, all mean the same thing, and save them. So if I wanted to do another one, I can go to Advanced Search. I'll choose a different territory. So maybe I want to do Midwest. And I get all the Midwest. I have 42 of them. So now I have that one. So I can easily say, well, what's my Midwest territory? What's my South territory? If you add a new record, a new company, and you apply it, assign it to the South territory, then the next time you search, you will have 75 as a result. It automatically updates in the search. So this makes it really easy to do that. If I wanted to set up a state search, maybe I'm going to travel and I want to find everybody that's in a particular state, then I can go to the state field, try Georgia, and I would get everyone in the state of Georgia. So there it is. Again, I could save it if I wanted to. Now, if I had my industry type or my industry field showing, which it isn't, then you could search for all of the manufacturers in the South or all of the manufacturers in the Midwest. But I didn't do that and I take too long to fix. So anyway, that gives you an idea of how to be able to create and save these views. Being able to search your database efficiently is extremely important. So one of the things that you always want to be very diligent at doing as a user is make sure these fields are filled in correctly in your record. Because anywhere where it's blank, if you're searching on industry type, any blank one is not going to show up at all in any search unless you search for blank. Okay. A quick way to see if something is missing without having to scroll through the whole database is click in a column heading and then click again, and all the blank ones will come to the top of the list. So I'm not too bad. I only have 3. That's pretty good. But some people, these are all really blank and not filled in. The territory also, again, you want to make sure your data is filled in so that your searches are accurate. That's your whole goal in here, is to make sure your searches are accurate so that you can pull up the right data and find the records. And so that is that. So creating the views. Now again, like your email templates, if you're really good at creating these filters and saving them, you can go to the Spyglass, go to the views, you'll see all of your view names here, and you'll see over here, you could change the name, edit it, delete it, or share it. So you could share it with another user because you know that Jim also works in the South. And you could share that view with him. When he logs out, logs back in, that view will be in his drop-down list when he goes right here. He'll see it. And he won't be able to edit it or change it because it'll tell him that it's shared. So if you share with another person, they cannot change your original setting. You would have to do it, and because you're basically the creator / owner of that view. All right, we've reached the end of our time. So I haven't seen any questions come in. If there are any questions, now's the time to ask them. Otherwise, we're going to end for the afternoon. We'll come back here. And first of all, thank you for attending today. Everybody's back from our holiday weekend and getting back in gear for the week. If you have any questions on anything, then please contact our support team at 1-838-7487 extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. They will be happy to help you. Or if you're in Quick Start with either Linda or myself, then you contact us and we will be happy to help you with any questions that you might have. And we're trying to come up with some new topics through the summer. So please send us any requests that you have, ideas that you have. It helps us know what you need and what you're thinking out there. So keep us informed at info@claritysoft.com. And with that, I will say have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. Go and enjoy your day and the rest of your week. Bye-bye.